This is a game where we pick cards and we talk about what's on the card.
Okay,
and it's
okay.
like things to talk about in your life
Great.
and your work. Not really like with rules or anything, but by the
Great.
time that we feel like we're done and we're tired of talking to each other and sharing our deepest, darkest secrets, we'll pull that final card. Do I seem like a morning person or a night owl?
Oh, God,
and
you're a
why?
night owl. You've never one time got up early in the morning. You hate it. You wake up, you're angry. You lash out at the people around you. You very rarely are in action until 11 a.m. somewhere in the world.
Oh, wow.
And I will say this, you very rarely put on shoes, like before 1 o'clock.
You think I'm a barefoot person also? Okay.
Well, I just think that at some point you are for sure the kind of person that doesn't wear shoes in the house. Right or wrong?
Oh, God. That is a bullseye.
Okay.
Shoes in the house is like...
Bad. So therefore, you very rarely are going anywhere before 1 o'clock, so you never put shoes on.
Actually, you could call me Grandma because I am the exact opposite of what you just noted.
I call bullshit.
So I feel like you are probably a morning person also because game recognizes game.
I like morning gray. I like sitting in the kitchen. My favorite thing to do is I love soccer. So even when my son was I have 3 kids. When my son was little, we'd get up and like he would get up at 5:30, 6 a.m.
Special.
And we would go down on the couch and we'd turn on EPL and he'd lay on my chest, like hands back, and we'd both watch soccer for hours.
And I will say that people who are on set seem to have to be flexible because it's like you're getting call times you're not in control of, really. Is that true?
Yeah, you very rarely. I mean, anytime you're in production, you have zero control of your life. I think that, I say all the time, I'm not on my time. So people are like, well, what about going to this event or picking whatever? I'm like, it's not my time. I'm not in control. And listen, the reality is that I have the adage I say all the time. It's like, you pay me to wait, the acting's free. Like if you understand that framework, you'll never find me frustrated. I'm never angry sitting there for 10 hours.
Yeah.
Because it does get frustrating. You're like, because you're on somebody else's time, and sometimes, it's a painful experience, but the reality is that I have come to peace with it.
What are you like when you're waiting?
That's not a question that's on the level 1. That's not a question.
All right.
Are you
You
ready?
win this round, Matthew Lillard.
I don't know if I win this round. Is there? Oh my God! Oh my God! Is there winning in this game?
No.
Can I win the game?
We're talking about our feelings.
If there's a winning, where are we keeping score?
Oh, Jesus.
I love to
Here,
win.
hash mark
Oh my
Matthew.
God. I won one.
You did win one.
Okay, good. What compliment do you think I hear the most?
So I feel like the compliment you get the most would be Stu is such a fucking psycho. I have never forgotten that character. Stu.
So you think the biggest compliment I get?
Is that Stu is amazing.
Stu is amazing.
And Stu is a psycho.
Here's the thing. I will tell you. I don't think there are a lot of kids, not kids, like teenagers, 20, like say 25 and under, that have seen Scream.
Oh.
I think that here's my take on it. The mask is so popular during Halloween.
Yeah.
That people know it, they understand that it's from the movie Scream, but not many people go back and watch old films.
Was I right though, or most people?
No, I would say
most people like Shaggy.
No, well, most people literally. I will tell you, every single person, and that's not every single person. I'd say 70% of the people that meet me are like, "You're so tall." The first thing they say. Like, I cannot believe how tall you are.
Oh, Christ. When you were younger, was it automatically you must play basketball?
No, because when I was younger, and the reason I became an actor is I was an obese, short, little, fat teenager. To get away from getting my ass kicked, I became funny. And being funny, people are like, you should be in theater.
What question are you trying to answer most in your life right now?
I have so many literal questions. Where's my kid gonna go to college? When, how am I gonna raise financing for my whiskey company?
Yep.
Like there's so many financial, real life questions.
Well, and also too with work, it's like you have this opportunity to revisit a character that you created so iconically, like all these decades ago, and it has to be also a consideration, like, how do I do this? Should I take this opportunity? Do I want to go back there?
Yeah, I didn't have that hesitation.
Were you just like,
I
yes?
was just really stoked.
Okay.
I was really excited.
Are you ready for everyone to be like, how the does this guy come back? Because he's so super dead in the first one. Like, what is...
Whoa. Get your opinion. What is this? This is like,
Sorry.
you're like just throwing heaps of...
I know, it's the movie nerd in me.
Yeah,
I'm like,
no.
how is this gonna work?
What?
I know
will
you can't tell us
literally
anything.
go grab your TV and throw it on my head, and I will survive. I will show you. Yeah, I am definitely a little worried that people will question why I came back, and or they're like, that was cheesy, or or they hate my performance, and or they're like, meh.
The vulnerability that you guys as actors go through, I find frightening when I imagine it, because it's like...
Which part of it, though? Are you talking about the results, or are you talking about the actual work in the work?
I mean both, but really, like, one of the things I always think about, you do this thing, you have a script, you go out there, you do your best, you're trusting the director, it is completely out of your hands, and then the result just shows up, and you're supposed to be there for it. The opposite is...
I will say this. They don't really care, because it's part of your journey. I mean, I go back and I watch, you know, In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Tale, which I don't think anyone should watch ever, for any reason.
Which now I want to watch.
But if I go back and watch that, all I have are these incredible memories of doing fight choreography with, you know, with the guys that did Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon.
Wow.
Working with Burt Reynolds again in a different state than when he did Without a Paddle. Like, getting myself hammered with a sober Ray Liotta and going to Motley Crue concert. Like, there's like these crazy things that you're like, who cares about the movie? You know what I mean? It's like, at the end of the day, you want to do good work no matter what you're doing, but it's out of my control, and decisions were made, and I am not the guy to go back and be like, ew. But that's not to say that I don't take the work seriously, that I'm not somebody that cares deeply about my work or performance or anything. But I think the interesting thing is worth saying again, there is 28 people in this industry that control their own destiny. That they make the choices and they control the yes or the no. The rest of us are out here scrapping to feed kids and trying to make shit work.
Right.
And no matter what people think of me, only control I have in my life is the power to say yes or no. And for me, I'd rather say yes and regret the things I do than the things I don't do.
Have you been in that position where you passed on something and then it became a legend in someone else's hands?
No. I have auditioned for things. I mean, you know, I've talked about this a couple times, but, you know, Negan.
Well, then I don't care.
Well, but Negan and Walking Dead, like I went back and auditioned for four times. And the showrunner and we were doing Hall H down in San Diego, and I was doing Twin Peaks, and Walking Dead was right behind us, and he was like, I love your work. You were so close on Negan. You were actually Negan for 5 minutes because Jeffrey Dean Morgan had the offer. He wasn't responding, and they were ticking clock on it. And so they made the move to go to me. And
which would have been really
totally
good.
Different. He's great.
And different.
He's fantastic.
And isn't that funny how it works out too? Because then all these years later, you're in sort of a similar position as William Afton. Like, that's a relatively parallel kind of character. Like that puppet master, brutal. We don't like him, but we love watching him.
It's zombies versus murdering children. I don't know if the analogy holds up.
Broad stroke.
Describe your perfect day.
My perfect day.
Get up at 4.
And I have lots of comfy cozies around, like slippers, and like, you know, I have these ridiculously fluffy Cookie Monster material pants.
Oh, wow.
Right? I like to be like really cozy.
I think that's called fleece.
Something like that, sure. Thank you, material police. And I get up and I have the perfect breakfast, and my husband
What is the perfect breakfast?
My husband makes an unbelievable classic scrambled eggs, bacon, Trader Joe's hash browns.
Oh,
with
sweet.
some gluten-free toast on the side. But then there's a huge party that's like full of my friends.
That's
and
good.
like everyone that I know and love, but we're like at Disneyland or like some where we can let it all. We're in the tiki room. Oh my God, we're in the tiki room. And then we all go to a movie, but it's just all of us. So we can like yell in the theater.
Yeah. We have to point out, by the way, the fact that we have put my bottle of whiskey right in the middle, and it's very slutty. but I'm very grateful that you offered. I didn't say, hey, can I randomly
we
put
asked.
my bottle of booze in the interview?
Here's what I'll tell
But
you,
it's very
though.
sweet. I appreciate it.
Last question. And
Okay.
then this interview's over. God damn it.
So what do I need to hear right now?
Oh. So many things. First of
no.
all, your husband needs more attention.
Okay, that I agree with.
That's the first of all.
I'm
Yes,
happy
I
to
will
do
say
that.
this. I think that in general, how long have you been married?
We just passed
you-
9 years,
Oh,
and
amazing.
we've been together 15.
That's great. Long-term relationships, we need to stay vigilant in terms of making somebody else feel seen. Doesn't necessarily, I'm not talking about specifically, you have to like physicalize it, but you have to make him feel seen. But that's not what I was gonna say. That was a joke that actually ends up becoming really important marital advice.
I agree with that a lot because that's sort of my greatest nightmare in a long-term relationship with anyone, be it my husband or even friends or whatever, that they might not know what they mean to me.
Oh, yeah.
And so I try to make every.
Like who? I handed her the dig deeper question.
I've been dug deeper.
You don't have to say their name.
Like I have a friend, and she deserves to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me crazy. She believes differently. Like her actions say she believes differently, that she's not worthy. Let's move you through that.
And you've said that?
I think I haven't said those words, and so maybe that would be very powerful.
Super powerful.
But I also want to be gentle.
Yeah, but you're
With her.
you're never gonna approach that relationship with like vitriol. I mean, look at you.
Right.
You're completely open to that.
That's not what you think I needed to hear right now, because I definitely did need it.
Right.
I'm gonna call her when this is done. This is an interesting dynamic a little bit because
Because we don't know each other.
We
We're
don't know
playing
each
an
other, and
intimate
we're playing
game,
this really
the
intimate game.
most intimate game
so
ever.
intimate, and I like got misty in front of you. But it's also like I'm kind of talking to you as a fan.
Yeah.
Where I'm so grateful for all the entertainment that you've brought into my life over all these years. You do so many different things. I want even more of that. Like, if I want you to direct again, or like, do you have any plans to do? You know what I mean? Like, as a fan, I'm like, I'm interested in anything that you have to say.
Right. I always have this deep interest in doing like a podcast.
Nice.
Because I like people and I like this conversation.
Yeah. Same.
You and I are in the same pocket very quickly, and I like people. And so many things about podcasts I just can't do.
It's tough.
it's the bringing people in. It's
hard work.
It's hard work.
I would listen to that though, just so you know. Like, if you ever find that it does fit into your life, I'd listen.
I don't think we need another middle-aged white guy talking about things. I mean, my whole thing is I pitch something at some point. I'm like, I will talk to people, but the people I'm really interested in talking to are, Father Greg Boyle of Homeboy Industries. Like, I want to talk to that dude. I don't want to necessarily talk to a celebrity. I mean,
sure.
Mark Maron's done that. Dax Shepard's done that. They're very good at it.
Amy Poehler's doing it.
Amy Poehler's slaying.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's not my take. The final card. God.
The final card.
Yeah.
Each player write a message to the other. Fold and exchange, and open only once you've parted.
I can't spell.
Which is tough because my name is a weird one too.
Gray, G-R-E-Y?
G-R-A-E, only vowels.
Oh.
My family finds Y's
Strangest
mistrustworthy.
thing Don't get my double chin. When I'm just open it when I leave.
Okay, yeah.
Shoot
that's
you
the
reading it when I read. But
No, here we're reading them after. Oh, give me that.
all right, that was super fun.